So I'm just figuring the layout that I want for this game. I think the first thing I do is just put the fire button in a place that feels comfortable for me to press. And then I will figure out the rest of the up, down, left and right buttons should go. So these strip boards, they have these lines up here where they if you solder something into a particular column, you know, anything that's on the same column will be physically connected. So with these buttons, firstly, we want to remove it, separate it from the microprocessor. So, and we're just going to run wires from the buttons over to the pins on the microprocessor. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually cut all of these across here to separate it from the microprocessor. And then when I put the microprocessor on, I'm going to cut between the pins of the microprocessor in the middle so that they're separated. And then I can just join wires onto any one of these places on the column, and it will make a physical connection. I'm just marking this side of the board so I know where to cut the traces. And to cut the traces, I'm just going to use an X-Acto knife and score it a couple of times, and that's really all you need. You do want to check that the continuity has actually been broken after that, of course. And then I've got some headers here. I'm removing the pin where I want to snap the header. And then I need to score it on both sides so it will snap along that line. And it should happen fairly easily. Then I'm just measuring one against the other. And both of these will be soldered to the perf board to hold the Arduino. And there I'm just, I've cut the trace between the microprocessor pins. And I'm soldering all the wires together. Yeah, and there it is. So pretty much the same as the circuit diagram on Walkwi. Here's the finished product. Doesn't look too pretty, but it is how we designed it in the Walkwi website. And I have literally wired it up in exactly the same way as the circuit diagram. All right. Next step, let's download the source code from the Walkwi website and see if we can program this game for real. Just before we download this project, I made a couple of small changes. It shows this screen at startup, just so that we can see that all the pixels are working. I also preventing the spaceship from moving off screen. And when you die, if you press the fire button at this point, it will start over. To download the project, simply need to find the project on the Walkwi website, which I'll provide a link to. This is version 1.3, and download zip. Once you've downloaded the file from Walkwi and you've unzipped it, just remember, before compiling, you need to go to Sketch, include library, manage library, and you need to install the library for lead control. Okay, it's the moment of truth. Is it going to work or not? Let's plug it in and see. It's lighting up. And oh, it looks like only one panel is working. Okay, that's interesting. And the looks like it's going in this direction. It's not going in that direction. Okay, give me a second and I'll see what I can figure out. Okay, so after a bit of playing around, I discovered some differences between the simulator and the real world. And one of the things was the simulator didn't care, but obviously in this section of the setup, I was only initializing one panel. And now I'm looping through and initializing all of the panels. That was one change that I made. And the other change was that the enemy was coming left to right instead of right to left. And I had to go down to our set pixel routine, and I added this line here, which reverses the direction in each individual panel. So this has now been saved to version 1.4. So 1.4 is the one I'm going to download to the real Arduino in the real world. And 1.3 is the version, is exactly the same code, but it works with the simulator. So they've got to be separate now. Let's download that and see what happens. Okay, so I've downloaded version 1.4. Let's plug it in and see what happens. Fingers crossed. Well, that's looking much better. Great. So to restart the game, I simply press the fire button. Oh, and I did increase the speed of the aliens. Well, how amazing was that? We've created a video game from scratch. We've created the hardware, we've created the controller, we have programmed the game from bare metal, we're detecting the button presses, we're drawing sprites on the screen, we've implemented collision detection. That's an enormous amount of work. And we've had lots of help from ChatGPT. Artificial intelligence can't yet write you an entire game, not from what I've seen, but it is an incredible programming resource, able to understand code, give you examples, and more importantly, it's able to explain code really well. I think it's the way of the future. If you like this project, please give me a thumbs up. Put a comment in the comment section if this actually inspires you to do something. If you create your own game or you modify the code that I'm providing and do something with it, please leave a link in the comments so that I can go and have a look at it. That would make me incredibly happy to think that someone else had learned something from this. That's it. Bye for now. Ciao. This game now needs some sound. Pew, pew, pew. Yeah, I could do that. That could be a really good improvement. Oh, come on.